What's up, guys? Out of Park here, and today we are going to continue our series on leadership traits. Now, these are what the Marine Corps define as characteristics that you, as a leader, should be striving to develop, that these are things that you should ensure are being developed within your fellow leaders. Let's say you are a guild leader, or someone who has subordinate leaders. You have officers or class leaders or whatever under you. You should be making sure that these guys are developing these traits. And this is something that if you are potentially looking to become a leader, you are looking to start leading your raids, you are looking to form your own guild. These are characteristics that you want to be working on, that you want to be developing before you take on a leadership role, and then continue, obviously, to develop these as you continue along your career as a leader. So with all that being said, today we are looking at decisiveness. So what is decisiveness? Decisiveness is the ability to take the appropriate amount of time to make a decision, and then once that decision has been made, to then announce that decision clearly enough so that it is understood by everyone affected. So it's kind of two parts here with decisiveness. We're going to talk first about time. I think we can all agree that there's a big difference in time needed to decide what boss you should go to next within Nighthold. Should we go kill Tichondrius? Should we go kill Botanist? Who are we going to next? What loot a person is getting once a boss is killed. Should we stick to the boss when the ads come out in 10 seconds, or should we switch to the ads real quick before it wipes us? Stuff like that. There's a big difference between that and something like the officers that are going to be promoted within your guild to help you run it, or if an offending player should be kicked from your guild or from your raid group. The first few are important, right? Loot's important. What boss you're going to next is important. Should we ignore ads? Should we switch to ads and get off the boss? These things are important. They do matter. They do make a difference. They do affect things. But they should be decided quickly. Overall, let's be honest. Those first few decisions aren't deal breakers. They're not that big of a deal. Yes, they matter. Like I said, they do affect things, and you need to think out what's going to happen. But I think we can agree that it would be ridiculous to take 10 minutes to sit there, within the raid for 10 minutes to decide, should we go to Tichondrius or Botanist? Well, we could do Croesus next. Or we could go do Star Augur. And you're just sitting there thinking what to do next. There's a big difference between that and then taking 5 minutes to promote someone to an officer rank to help you run your guild. Obviously a difference there. So the second part of this is announcing your decision. So you want to announce your decision clearly so that everyone hears it. Again, this kind of thing follows the same mindset as before. You want your way that you're communicating your decision and your tone to reflect how important your decision is. Again, if we're going to take this example of, let's say, while clearing trash, you type out in raid, go to Tichondrius, guys, instead of Spell Augur. You type it out. Are people going to see that? That's especially if it's a farm night, if you've cleared it, hell, this is the last week of Nighthold, a good chunk of you guys are probably burning through it, getting that little bit extra AP before Tomb of Sargeras hits next week, and everybody's goofing off, everybody's dicking around, everybody's playing, and, while people are, telling jokes and typing crap and whatever, and you go, we're going to Tichondrius. Are people going to hear it? Are people going to see it? Probably not. Let's be honest here. Nobody's going to see it. Especially if people are goofing off, people aren't paying attention. If they're not giving the raid the full attention that it may deserve, and probably not, it's the last week, like I said, nobody's going to see it. Instead, it would make more sense to get the group to stop speaking for a second via whatever, Discord, Vent, TeamSpeak, whatever you guys are using, and then announce your decision. Now, you most definitely, as a leader in a leadership position, you should be using a voice app. And that may be just a topic for another day. But as a side note, there's no excuse for you as a leader, you as an officer, guild leader, raid leader, unless you are pugging. And even then, no. But there's no reason that you cannot use a microphone. I don't care what you do, what you sound like. I don't care. I've heard the excuse, well, I work on the phones all day. I take phone calls all day. I had a girl in Burning Crusade tell me that, she couldn't make call outs for something because she worked on the phones all day. Bullshit. It's not an excuse. I'm a girl and you guys, you're all guys. Not an excuse. I'm young, I'm old. Not an excuse. If you're in a leadership position, you got to be able to be vocal. So step back into the topic we're talking about. Get your group to quiet down. Hey guys, here's what we're going to do. Let the raid know what's going on. You don't have to yell. You don't have to be super loud. But, example, tonight, we're sitting there raiding. The guys are goofing off. They're telling jokes. Hey, all right, we're going to go to High Botanist next, and here's why. Cool. All right, we start working our way to Botanist. Great. Everything's been taken care of. And the same goes for this example of picking an officer. Your method of communication should, again, follow suit as to how important the decision is. You shouldn't do the same thing. You shouldn't go, hey guys, here's the deal. I'm going to promote Bill to officer to help me out in the middle of the raid. What? No, we're going to High Botanist. Like, what? Where did that come from? No. Instead, you should sit down with your raid, like before or after. Not like 2 minutes before the raid, or even just postpone the actual, like, we're not going to clear trash. I got to talk to you guys for like 10 minutes. And make sure that everyone's full and undivided attention is on you, and then tell them what's going on. Hey guys, we're going to clear trash for, Night Halt, Tomb of Sargeras, whatever magical, raid you guys are on if you're watching this in the future. But for a few minutes, I want to tell you guys what's going on. So I've given it a whole lot of thought for this past week, and I really need help running this guild. And a lot of you guys have been super amazing at helping me. However, one name stands out, and that is Bill. Bill's been helping me a lot. He's been really supportive. He's very knowledgeable, and I think he'd be a great asset. That's how you do it. Not this, hey guys, by the way, Bill's getting promoted tonight. Cool. Tell them what's going on. Tell them, Bill's going to be helping, blah, blah, blah. Let them know his duties, your expectations of him, and then the rest of the raid. Again, you're being, more elaborate with your discussion. You're setting aside time because it is a big decision, right? Like, as a guild leader, my officers are my support staff. So that's a big decision compared to who's getting that trinket that just dropped. So why is this all important? Why do we even care how long it takes? Well, there's a few factors. I've talked about in several videos. In fact, I think the last video I even talked about a guild leader, a raid leader who couldn't make decisions. Simply couldn't. He froze up. And I've talked about him several times. I know I have, because on the outside, he is an intelligent individual. Like I said, this guy was a doctor. I mean, he is a doctor. But, he's a doctor, very intelligent man. He has his doctorate. He's been working as a doctor for 20, 30 years. But when it came to raiding, he wasn't decisive enough to give out a decision. He couldn't do it. He froze up. And so there is a confidence factor there. If it takes you 5 minutes to decide, where we're going next in the raid, or God forbid, we're in the middle of the raid. And this gentleman was notorious for it, of, ads would come out and the tanks would mark them, or the officers would mark them, or somebody would get them marked, or a mod, maybe DBM. And he would say, kill X. And we're like, no, we've already got Skull down to half health. Like, we need to go with Skull, especially if you were looking at, I can't remember the Calaxy Paragons, I think it was, fight where you could pick and choose which boss. Like, it was like 9 bosses, and every time you killed a boss, I think the rest of the bosses got an update for Windows, but I think the rest of the bosses went back to full health, and they all gained an ability or something happened. So you had to commit. Like, choosing the wrong one, going in the wrong order, would significantly change the fight. And those are things that you surefire, like, kill Skull. All right, CCX, do this, do that, bam, bam, bam. Couldn't do it. So there is a confidence factor. A lot of the Raiders honestly didn't believe that he knew what the hell he was doing because he couldn't make these calls. And then it goes into other things. Okay, well, if he can't decide, what mob to kill for the Paragons encounter in Siege of Orgrimmar, his decisions about his leadership, about raiding in general, about loot, are these based on facts? Does he have his shit together? Is he just guessing the whole way? Has he just gotten lucky this whole time? Does he really know what he's doing? You don't look like you know what you're doing. We're not confident in you. And then the second factor is that you're wasting time, right? If you're spending 10 minutes deciding what boss to go to or who gets what loot, my guild raids 3 nights a week, or 3 nights a week, geez, 3 hours, 2 nights a week. We used to do 3 and 3 an hour, 3 hours, 2 days a week. And so to spend 5 or 10 minutes wasting our time doing stupid shit, that's a good chunk of our time, So that time is precious, and unnecessary time on a decision that doesn't truly matter is wasting it. So you need to make sure that you are taking the right amount of time to make your decision, and then making sure that your decision has been understood appropriately, that it's been delivered appropriately, that it is clear, that it is concise, and that people know what's going on. Now, with all this being said, a few things here. You guys know the deal. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. These things encourage me a great deal to continue to make content like this. If you like this video, most definitely hit the like button. I encourage you, if you did not like this video, if there was something wrong with it that you either disagree with or you just don't like it, hit that thumbs down button. Let me know in the comments below what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right. If you guys have any questions, comments below. And until next time, guys, I'll see you.